I remember running down the dock and then diving in the water, and then all of a sudden all I was doing was inhaling water. I was laying face down, just inhaling water and unable to move any part of my body, thinking, what is going on?
It was not supposed to work this way. Not for Brendan Loney, a kid who grew up playing hockey and went to Gustavus. But there he was, a dive off the dock and no feeling in his body.
Once I was pulled up on the dock, I realized that I cannot move at all. All I'm able to do is breathe. I was telling them, you know, guys, I can't move my body.
It was followed by a helicopter ride to the emergency room while his father was getting the news at home.
The doorbell rang and there was a police officer that came to the door and said, you know, your son's been in a horrible accident, you need to come with me. And, you know, he didn't know what to do. No, I'll drive myself. And all we knew was spinal cord injury. We didn't know the extent of it. So I was 20 miles north of Grand Rapids at the cabin. So my daughter, who was pregnant at the time, and I drove from Grand Rapids to North Memorial, and it was the longest drive of my life.
Brendan's life had changed. As he lay in the hospital, his parents arrived to see their son in a state they never imagined.
My dad was there waiting for me, and I remember looking up to him and just telling my dad, you know, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. I'm really sorry this happened. I don't know what's going on.
The heartbreaking thing is we walk in and we see Brendan, and he's apologizing to us. The first thing that he says, I'm so sorry.
It's been 3 years since that redefining night, a night that changed Brendan and his family, but maybe for the better. He battled back in small increments.
I started doing therapy and stretching, and slowly, part by part, like a little bit of bicep would flicker, a little bit of muscles would flicker, and so we just attack those areas.
While he began working on his physical skills, something else happened. He realized his life had changed, but it was not over, and it was worth living. So he put his energy into his attitude.
I don't know if it's because I was an athlete, I don't know if it's because of how I was raised, but there's just that thing inside you that's, you know, let's try and, you can either sit down, you can lay, you can take it, and you can just step by step. But I was a 20-year-old kid playing hockey. I was like, okay, well, let's just try. You know, you're laying in there, you've done surgery, you're just kind of accepting it. Let's try the other approach.
And he put his faith into the Courage Center, a place that would become his second home, where people come to get better.
It's one of those places where you walk through the front doors and it's impossible to walk down the hall without a big smile on your face, because this place means so much to so many people.
What was it like the first time you came in here? Was it intimidating, or was it?
Yeah, I was kind of scared. It's always scary. I've never had like a trainer, so, and when you come here, it's nice because it's more one-on-one therapy.
Yep.
And so, you get to really know your trainer. They pretty much become one of your friends.
So continued his saga, which meant rehab, with physical therapists that act as coaches and friends.
You know, I cannot walk into work any day without a big smile on my face, because I love the mission of Courage Center. It's a fabulous place to work.
And every time you see a small step or a victory?
I applaud it all the way. I'm there as a cheerleader.
This is where he learns to work with his body again. A task that is, at least to the family, ahead of schedule.
We entered the world of spinal cord injury, and it's an overwhelming world, to put it mildly. But you learn and you go and you take 1 minute at a time. And time definitely, when I see him today and I think back to where we were when the accident happened, if somebody would have told me then what I see today, I would have kissed the ground that they walk on.
But it is not the workout that is the major reason why. It is the way he is approaching it and the Courage Center's way of supporting it.
I'm starting to sweat a little bit up in my head, so that's good.
That's the idea, right?
Yeah, Courage Center was my home away from home when I first got injured. It's the only place where I can actually go work out.
What do you think a good attitude means?
Everything. You can't overcome a bad attitude. There are things that are hard to overcome even with a great attitude, but that quality of life thing, that has all to do with attitude.
For Brendan, getting back to a sense of normal also meant getting back to where he left off, as a student at Gustavus College. It is here that he finds comfort, particularly in the professor that helped make it possible, Bruce Johnson.
He's been amazing. He's helped me with classes, figuring out, he's talked to other teachers to make it accommodable to be able to go down to class only 2 days a week. He's been a saint throughout this whole process of being, I don't think I would even be at Gustavus right now. I would have done all mine if it wasn't for him.
The story began way before the accident when Brendan was in my first term seminar. And I got to know him then, and then 2 years into that, I was his advisor, at which point in the summer he had his accident. For some reason, it just seemed logical to all of us here and to Brendan and his family that he would finish his degree at Gustavus.
It is here that he is also letting his entrepreneurial juices flow. He has developed his own company called Live Life, the title based on what he has learned since that eventful day.
Live Life is it's a brand that me and a friend just came up with. We kind of want it to be more important than just a clothing brand. We want it to be more of a lifestyle. We want people to wear our brand and kind of think about hard times and think about, perseverance and what they have now, rather than just throwing on clothes. I want it to be more meaningful so that people look at it and they're proud to wear it.
He has become a shining example, one that inspires faith in a family.
I don't know why. You have to believe that it happens for a reason and you make the best of it.
That is part of what makes Live Life so much fun. It is the combination of the power of what we access if we choose to access it.
I think that I have one of the best family and friend support there is out there. Having people around that are always positive, it feeds off on your positivity.
And he's now focused on how he can take something he never dreamed possible and turn it into something he never dreamed possible. And what they've learned along the way.
Never in my life did I think anything like this would ever happen. And like Bren said, I wouldn't wish it upon anyone, but to be able to take it and turn it around and to see that he's inspirational to as many people as he has been is, a parent couldn't be more proud.
That's what this has been about, making the most of your life no matter where that life has taken you to.
There's people that we get emails from every once in a while that, are like, hey, you've changed my life. Hey, you keep up. If you're having a hard day, they think, wow, look at how you're doing. Why am I to be sad about my life when you're like this and you're proud? And it's just really great to see those emails every once in a while. It really lifts up my day, just knowing that I'm helping out someone else.
Life to the Max is brought to you by Life Touch, photography for a lifetime.